Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed last week's video where I talked about starting a YouTube channel, something I've been wanting to make a video about in quite a while actually, and I was happy that I could bring that hopeful knowledge and a bit of maybe inspiration to anyone who wanted to start a channel that hasn't yet started it. So if you haven't checked out the video, feel free to watch it after you've seen this video. So today I just really wanted to update you. I am back in the COVID corner. So I really wanted to update you on everything that's happened since my last COVID corner segment. A lot of things have happened, some positive stuff, some negative stuff, mostly positive. In fact, like really amazing positive things happened after that video, and I just wanted to bring the update because I feel like it's important to celebrate the wins and to show that there are two sides to every story, because it's really easy to get into that cycle of negativity and that cycle of just kind of feeling like the world is against you. But after like speaking to a few of you guys, it was really nice to know that I wasn't alone, and with every down there are ups, so gotta celebrate the wins. Anyways, so I'll start with the negative because let's just get that out of the way. In my last video I told you guys that one of the things that Kyle, my husband, could potentially get was employment and support allowance, and that is contribution based, and because of his visa status he has no recourse to public funds, which means he can't get any state benefits, any state funds, and we're both self-employed, so our work is currently on hold. Yeah, and so obviously the government said one of the things that you can get is ESA, and he applied for it and he doesn't qualify for it. So usually for ESA you need to have 2 to 3 years worth of national insurance contributions. I was thinking maybe they would have made that to like 1 year, like how they were going to kind of do the employment and so the other one, self-employed income support scheme. I was thinking maybe they would do like 1 year of tax returns rather than 3 years, because it's kind of unfair on people who are here who have paid taxes and national insurance. Apparently he hasn't paid enough. I don't know, he could probably maybe contribute to it. I think maybe it's something to do with being self-employed. You have to have contributed a certain type of national insurance that I don't know if the self-employed have to pay. Anyways, it's all complicated, but he doesn't get it, so there's that. It's annoying, but if we went together and he was just here on a working holiday visa, he'd basically be stranded alone and he wouldn't have any like recourse to public funds. He'd have no help from the government in this crisis situation, so that's really shitty. So yeah, that sucked. We got a letter in for that this morning, I think. Actually, the good news is that I called Universal Credit and I'd explained, you know, my situation was that I only got £409.89, and that was obviously not going to cover our expenses. So I called them and I was like, this can't be right. I just basically explained to them the situation. I was like, there's no way I can live off this. Isn't there any housing element? I'm still a British citizen. I should still be entitled to my share of benefits that I've paid taxes towards and national insurance towards since I was an adult. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So they were like, oh, that doesn't look right. And I was like, thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks that. So they're like, that doesn't look right, we'll have a look into it. I'll send something to your caseworker to look into it. So before I'd called them, I put on my journal and I basically said everything that I'd said to them before I called. So I went in my journal, I wrote, hi, da-da-da-da, this is how much I've been given, this is how much my statement says, this is how much we live off, this is my situation with my husband, this doesn't make sense. I've spoken, and someone else had spoken to, I went for advice. Like, one of the places you can call is the Citizens Advice Bureau, especially with Carl's kind of situation. They kind of help you with anything that's like, I don't know, citizens advice. I don't know, but yeah, I called them and then they were like, that doesn't make sense either. You should still get your element of housing regardless of your husband's status. So that prompted me to really dig into it, because I was like, I'll get around to it, but I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do this like now. So that's when I called them that night, and that was about 3 p.m. I called them, Universal Credit, and was like, this is my situation. And that's after I'd left a journal message. So the next day at 8 a.m. in the morning, I called again. Obviously it had been only, about 15 hours later. So I called them again in the morning, first thing, because the only way you can get into Universal Credit is if you call them first thing in the morning, otherwise it takes hours, and I didn't like that I had to wait so long the night before. So yeah, so I called them first thing in the morning and I was like, hi, I called yesterday and I spoke to so-and-so and she said that she would get in contact with my caseworker. I haven't heard anything back. I just wanted to check if there was an update. And she went through it and she's like, oh yeah, we haven't heard anything back from your caseworker. I don't know if they're called caseworkers. I'm just calling them that because I can't remember what she called them. And she's like, I haven't heard anything back from your caseworker and I will put in an urgent request for him to get onto it as soon as possible. So then I was like, how long is that going to take? Because I'm supposed to get paid tomorrow. And she was like, it will be today, obviously, because you have to get paid tomorrow. It's an urgent request. It should come in before the end of the day. So I was like, okay, thank you so much. And I hung up. So about 4 hours later, on my journal, I had an update. Like, I kept checking every hour, and after a while I was like, okay, Abby, just leave it till noon. So I checked at noon, and then there was a message from my caseworker, and it was like, hey, I've looked into this. I realized that there was a bunch of new things for me to do first on my to-do list, and so I went through those. It kind of asked me about my self-employment again, and again about my earnings, something like that. And then I filled those in, and my caseworker was like, hey, we realized that you were underpaid. Here's your housing element. I've added it on. It will be paid tomorrow. So I get a lot more than I was originally gonna get. So it changed. So it looked like they made an error, and no one would have picked up on it if I hadn't have called them. So calling them, they realized that it was wrong. They fixed it. I guess maybe the system is constantly changing, and because the rules are constantly changing, and also the amount you're entitled to, I think, has changed. So because we applied right at the beginning when all this happened, because we're self-employed and we kind of needed to do it like ASAP, because I knew the longer we waited the harder it would be, but I think it was based off the old system and the old way things work. So it all went through automatically, so they kind of had to like boost the system by like taking me off and put me back on or something. Anyways, but yeah, so now we get a good amount. We get enough, I guess, to cover our expenses and our rent, and that's good enough for me, even though Carl doesn't get anything, which sucks. I was on Twitter today, because, you know, Abby goes on Twitter when she's gonna film a video. I don't know why. It's like, you're just gonna get mad, don't go on Twitter. So I went on Twitter and I was looking at the Home Office, and they'd posted something about migrants and having no recourse to public funds and what help they can get with the NHS and stuff. And then someone had posted below, right, they commented, these aren't your funds to give away. I don't want these people coming and taking money and not contributing anything. It was basically being like, these people coming here illegally and just basically stealing public funds. And I was like, first things first, I had to respond because it was just so annoying, because I've seen this so often where people are just so uneducated, so ignorant. It just frustrates me. I was like, first things first, you need to go and look up the definition of migrant. It does not mean what you think it means, okay? It doesn't mean illegal immigrant. Like, there is a complete difference between the two things. So I'm like, number one, migrants, they pay taxes. Number two, they pay an NHS surcharge, so they have to pay to get health service anyways, you know, and then it's not entirely free, which is crazy. And number three, I can't remember what I put down as number three. Oh, they pay national insurance as well. And I was like, if anything, we're living off their sacrifice rather than them mooching off us, because they're not entitled to any public funds. So yeah, there was that. So yeah, I commented. I wasn't that aggressive, but basically that's basically what I said. And then the person replied back saying, oh, I don't have any problem with anyone coming here legally and contributing to the society and assimilating. I'm like, well, then I guess you don't have a problem with the migrants that this post references. Your comment was a moot point in the first place. Like, why would you post that here? It has no relevance. Anyway, so yeah, that made me annoyed. I was just like frustrated, because people are just, they think they're fighting for something, but they don't know what it is. And what they think they're fighting for is not what they think they're fighting for, okay? You're fighting the wrong people. So anyways, yeah, leading on. My third piece of news and second piece of good news is that Kyle's spouse visa has been accepted, and he's now converted from his youth mobility to a spouse visa. So he can stay here for another couple of 2.5 years, and then another 2.5 years, and then if he wants he can stay forever. But yeah, so that's cool. It doesn't change his funds, like public fund status. Still no recourse to public funds until you have indefinite leave to remain, unless they get rid of that, which I don't know. I think they should at least temporarily get rid of it until the coronavirus is over. Like, until people are back at work, it should be available for everyone who lives here legally. Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, and then there's obviously people like asylum seekers, people who also need help. Like, it's not about that right now. Like, we just need to make sure everyone's okay, make sure everyone's gonna survive. It's unfair when people can't travel, they can't go back to their home countries. It's unfair for you to have them here and not let them be entitled to anything. But anyways, yeah, so there's that. He got spouse visa. That's awesome. It's freaking awesome news. I'm so happy. I can finally get over that and just move on now. Because that was the most stressful freaking application form I've ever filled out in my whole life. So yeah, that's it. That's my update, guys. So universal credit sorted out, spouse visa accepted, ESA, no bueno, but get what we can get. We're okay, we're happy, I'm in a better place, and yeah, filming again and being very productive with my time. Podcast coming soon to here. It is coming soon. I know I've been talking about it for about 4 months now, since I said I was going to start one, but it should be here soon. I'm just getting the logistics of that sorted out, but I'm hopefully going to have a podcast episode up within the next little bit, and some other cool stuff coming to you. So yeah, trying to make the most of this time at home and trying to do as much as I can to like diversify my income, diversify my life, diversify my hobbies, yeah, and just have a lot of me time, have a lot of downtime, have a lot of reflecting time. But until next week, I guess I'll see you again. Please give this video a thumbs up because it helps the YouTube algorithm, and I'm all about the algorithm. YouTube algorithm, favor me, please. But yeah, the channel's been doing pretty good for a new channel, I'd say. So that's given me a lot of joy, that I feel like I'm reaching people and they're reaching back to me. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate every single one of you. I will see you next week with another video. Take care, stay safe. Hopefully this will all be over soon and we can get back to everyday life, because that would be really nice. Until then, goodbye.